All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is March 13th, 2025. My name is John Kerrigan. I moderate the BYOB Trading Room. Hey, let's go take a look at some charts today. All right, for the SPY on the 10-minute, we've got a 10-minute downtrend coming into the close. So we'll be looking for a continuation of the 10-minute downtrend coming into the close. Notice they didn't put in a lower low. Could very well see a gap up, possibly even up to this area right here where the downtrend line exists right there. Okay, so on the 2-hour chart, 2-hour downtrend coming into the close. On the daily chart, we've got daily downtrend, lower high, lower low, closing under a trap. Okay, under the falling 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP, all the way into 550. So there's daily chart. Let's take a look at what do we want to look at? Let's take a look at the game plan. All right, let's just take a look at the game plan for a second. And we'll look at that on the 5-minute chart. So on the game plan, let's move this out of the way so you can see it. All right, so for the game plan, we like Friday options. So those are either 1 day till expiration, that's tomorrow, or 8 days till expiration. All right, that's next Friday. Okay, so price action here, we played a short, a continuation of the current downtrend. Okay, right into the open here on the 10-minute. So we had a continuation of the downtrend. We stayed with the downtrend all the way down to the bottom here. We reversed and went back to VWAP at this point right here. All right, and currently we're looking like we've got another 10-minute downtrend, possibly a higher low, maybe not, maybe a continuation to the downside. But you can see right here we had a continuation of the 10-minute downtrend, totally playable here for a 10-minute drop. And you had, here's price action. You can see the first entry was red candle below 555. And you can see where 555 would have been right here. So that was the second entry. The first entry was price below 554.30. So 554.30 would have been right about, well, a little bit lower. Anyways, I'm pretty sure it was up higher. 557.90. 557.90 was the first one. All right, so 557.90, you can see price action got you right into that. And you rode that for about $7 all the way to the downside, all the way down to 549. All right, so there's 10-minute game plan. Just going to say this. The game plan works. All right, follow the game plan and then hang it up for the rest of the day. Okay, just follow the game plan and then turn in your sheets and go enjoy the rest of the day. That's game plan works over and over and over again. All right, so never had a green erases red. Everything was red erases green. All right, so this SPY on the 10-minute chart. Let's take a look at QQQ. QQQ, same deal. Okay, you can see right here, 10-minute downtrend, right at the open, continuation all the way down to this area here. Okay, 575, clear down to about 567. All right, so again, QQQ, game plan, works. All right, continuously works. QQQ and SPY. QQQ on the daily chart, let's take a look at it over here. On the daily chart, we've got lower high, lower low, closing under the trap, under the 17. All right, on QQQ and SPY, we've got, again, lower low, lower high, closing under the trap, under the 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP, under the midpoint. This is neutral. Neutral on SPY. QQQ is bearish, closing in quadrant 1. QQQ, bearish, closing in quadrant 1. FNGA, lower low, lower high, closing under the trap, under the 17, closing under the all-time high anchored VWAP, under the midpoint, down here in the lower third. FNGA is bearish. Diamond Dow. Lower high, lower low, closing under the trap, under the 17, under the uptrend line, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's the pink line right here. Price action, almost in the lower third, just neutral at this time. Let's take a look at IWM. IWM, lower high, lower low, closing under the trap, under the 17. All right, under the uptrend line, under the midpoint, at the bottom of quadrant 1. This is bearish. All right, all the way back into the base. This is bearish all the way back there. So SPY on the daily chart, that's bearish. Under the all-time high anchored VWAP, underneath almost everything. All right, let's take a look at our technicals. T2122, you can see we spent the day in the oversold zone. All right, we went up here to visit the bulls in the seller's chop zone. They shut the door, threw us out, wound up in the sell zone. They came in here and pushed us out, wound up just camping out in the oversold zone down here. Okay, just camping out down here in the oversold zone. T2123, red from beginning to end. Okay, just nothing but selling. All right, underneath the falling 200 SMA, underneath prior all-time highs, price action, T2123, that's bearish. Okay, we're not making any new higher highs. We're not filling any bullish, bearish gaps. Okay, you can see we gapped down here, never filled the gap. That's bearish. All right, T2123, 3-bar chart, 3 more red candle bars. Underneath the fading 200 SMA, underneath 2 prior all-time highs, right there. Price action is bearish. Lower high, lower low. That's bearish. All right, let's take a look at FNGA. FNGA selling from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. Nothing but a little VWAP pullback here. That's it. Couldn't even close candles on top of it. They just got wrecked all day, caught underneath 200 SMA, caught underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP, caught underneath the uptrend line. Nothing looking good right now for the bulls. All right, so there's FNGA. Let's take a look at some sectors. Take a look at XLE. Okay, XLE looking like an outside day, higher high, lower low, closing under the bearish trap, under the 17, under the 12-month high anchored VWAP, under downtrend line 1, under downtrend line 2, underneath the midpoint, that's the dash. Down here in neutral land, it is neutral, XLE. Nothing bullish happening there. We are holding a mini bull flag here for about 4 days. That's about it. But looking at the flag, it's nothing but wicks up here. Okay, just saying, it's a mini bull flag, but there's nothing but wicks up here. All right, let's take a look at UNG. UNG, lower high, lower low, closing under the bearish trap, under the 17, up here in quadrant 4, that's bullish. Let's take a look at USO. USO, lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap, under the falling 17, under a 3-year high, anchored VWAP, all the way back here, 2022, right there. Under a 3-year high anchored VWAP, underneath the uptrend line, underneath the buy box, underneath the midpoint, down here in the lower third, that's bearish. All right, let's take a look at GLD. High flyer GLD made a new all-time high today. All right, so you can see new high, higher low, higher high, over the trap, over the 17, over the prior all-time high anchored VWAP. There it is, GLD, new all-time high today. Let's take a look at SLV. SLV, higher low, higher high, closing over the trap, over the 17, over the 12-year high anchored VWAP. That's the pink line. Up here in quadrant 4, that's bullish. Let's take a look at SMH. SMH got a outside day, higher high, lower low, closing in the bearish trap under the 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP, that's the pink line, under the midpoint down here in the lower third, that's bearish. Let's take a look at XLK, technology, lower high, lower low, closing under the trap, under the 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP, under the uptrend line, under the midpoint, all the way down here in the lower third, that's bearish. Let's take a look at XLF. It's the financials showing a bear flag. Lower inside day, higher low, lower high, closing under a bearish trap, under the 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP, under the upper third. All right, so that's just neutral. IYT. Lower high, lower low, closing under the trap, under the 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP, under the uptrend line, under the midpoint, down here in quadrant 1, that's bearish. IYT. All right, that's it. I'll take some questions in the room. If there's no questions, we're going to call this a day. Did I see somebody wrote made lots of money? Lots of money to be made. Okay. John, your thoughts on SPY in the near term, still headed lower? I got to tell you, it sure looks like it. All right. The only caveat I see for today is on the 10-minute into the close, and if the bears were around, they could have done it. Why didn't they make a lower low? Why didn't they make a lower low? They had the mojo. They came down, failing to make a lower low. Okay, I'm just saying, like, they could have done it. Why didn't they do it? And I'm telling you, we could see a possible gap up tomorrow. I don't know how high or how far we go, but we'll see what happens. They should have, in the evening hours when everything melts off, you know, institutions come in and they sell off. That was their time to sell and make a lower low, and they failed to do it. So that's a higher low, and you can see we're already moving up in the post market right now. Okay, because they failed right there, and it's 4:15, so options are expiring. So there you go on SPY. I think we head back to the downtrend line tomorrow. That's what I think. We'll see. We got a W pattern possibly playing out right now. Okay, so double bottom with a W pattern. We'll see. We're in a bear flag, and it's normal for price to consolidate, make a stab down at the bottom, fail to break down any further because they're right on top of 550. I don't know where it goes, but we're in a bear flag. We're not making any higher highs yet, so I have to lean on the bearish side. All right, we made a higher low, but we've done that hundreds of times, made higher lows. All right, we just haven't been able to make higher highs. And until we start filling bearish gaps and making higher highs, I think the momentum goes with the bears to the downside. All right, so still bearish till I see us make some higher highs. Now, that's a very low threshold to beat right there. Okay, I'm sure that they can beat that tomorrow morning. All right, so we'll see maybe a higher high on the 10-minute chart. I haven't seen one in a while. Higher high on the 10-minute, except for this one on the 12th when we gapped up over these two peaks here. But we didn't hold it for long. Look, 3 candles and we melted off. 2 candles and we melted off there. So we'll see what happens. I want to see them hold it, the higher high, for, I'm just going to say, more than an hour. All right, more than an hour, like 2 hourly candles. At least hold a higher high. Okay, so Yeah, double bottom on the 10 right there. Yep. Old market is saying markets never bottom on Friday. Tuesday's the day, right, JB? I wanted to grab some SPY 540 calls for next week. All right. I hope Trump decides to slap 2025 tariffs on the entire world. That should do it. I mean, you might as well. You want to buy puts if he's going to slap tariffs on. Yeah. So, oh yeah. Sorry, puts. Yes. Yeah. If he's going to go slap happy with the tariffs, you want puts. Yep. All right, traders. That's it for me today. It was a good day. I made. Let's just say I made more than 10 daily goals. Okay. Just to see how many daily goals I made today. $317. 14 daily goals today. It's a good day for me. We'll see what happens tomorrow. And I heard some other people had some good days. Mel made over 10,000, I think. Mel did good. A lot of people did good. Trading the downtrend all the way down to 550. Had a lot of winners today in the markets. Alan did good. Everybody did good. Thanks, Jim. All right. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock. We'll do it again. All right. We'll crank up the printing press and make some more profits. All right. Until then, everybody have a wonderful evening. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it.